Welcome to Organizational Behavior and Leadership, PA 910 for Term 2, 2022. My name is Dr. Nancy Reed. I'm the course director for this course. I also instruct Section A. I have 3 adjunct faculty members helping me this term teach. Dr. Michael Estrada is the course instructor for Sections B and C. Dr. Stephen Kellum is the course instructor for Sections D and E. And Dr. Felix Iannacho is the course instructor for Section F. If you are confused about who your course instructor is, at the top of the page within your section, you can click on the course instructor icon that you see there highlighted at the bottom, and that will let you know who your course instructor is. All correspondence in regards to your course should be directed to your course instructor. We have 2 textbooks that we use pretty frequently in this class. The first textbook is Organizational Behavior in Healthcare by Borkowski and Meese. We do require the 4th edition of this textbook. The ISBN is there in the PowerPoint presentation. For those of you who like to have textbooks, we do have a digital copy of the textbook available through the University of Lynchburg's library. You will also need to access the AMA Manual of Style, 11th edition, and that also is available through the University of Lynchburg's library. When you have a question about AMA style while you're writing within our program, we recommend that you refer to the actual manual and do not try to Google the rules. There was a recent manual change from the 10th edition to the 11th edition, and some of the websites that you find are actually quoting 10th edition rules rather than 11th edition rules. So again, if you have any questions about an AMA rule, we recommend you go directly to the AMA style manual that is available through the university's library. The textbooks are easily accessed by just clicking on the link within the course, and you'll see the screenshot there. The top book is the textbook and the bottom book is the AMA style manual. If you just click on either one of those pictures, it will take you to the University of Lynchburg's library, and you'll be able to access those books through the University of Lynchburg's library. So now let's talk about what the course looks like. Within this course, there are basically 3 different types of graded items. We have 2 quizzes in this course that total about 30% of your grades. You can find those quizzes in week 2 and in week 10. We have 9 discussion board posts that total 40% of your grade, and you can see the weeks there, 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 11, and 12. And then we have 1 major writing assignment, and that constitutes about 30% of your grade, and that's called the self-reflection paper. Within the Moodle course, you can print out a weekly assignments guide. It's a Word document that is in the resource section, and it looks like the screenshot on the right-hand side that tells you when all of your assignments are due. Now let's focus on the quizzes. The quizzes will go over the required reading for that week. So we recommend that the student read the required reading, take notes as you're going through. The quiz will open up on Sunday at the beginning of the week, and it will close the following Sunday night at 11:59, the student's time zone. The quizzes are open book and open note. You do only have 1 attempt at the quiz, and you need to plan to have enough time to sit down and complete the quiz in one setting. It usually takes about 30 minutes to 1 hour to complete the quiz. I do want to caution students, sometimes in the past, students have got confused. When they click on the quiz, they see the due date that you can see there in bolded, and then down at the bottom is the close date. So Moodle is not set up to work with students in different time zones, so we have to set the close date later so that everybody in the class, depending on what time zone they're in, has until 11:59 their time zone to complete the class. So don't get confused. Make sure you pay attention to the due date and and not the close date. If you don't have everything done by the due date, it will close you out and you will not be able to access the quiz. Now let's talk a little bit about discussion boards. For those of you who are new to the program, you will get accustomed to discussion boards. For those of you who have already had one term in the program, the discussion boards follow the same format that you've already been doing. The students need to create their original discussion board post by Wednesday night, 11:59, your time zone. Why do we require the original post to be done by Wednesday? If we don't put a Wednesday due date on that, nobody posts their original post, so that makes it hard for your classmates to read your thoughts and then do response posts to your post. So we want everybody to get their original post in by Wednesday so your classmates have a chance to read your thoughts, and then they were able to do response post. We require 2 response posts that have to be posted by Sunday night, 11:59, the student's time zone. The requirement for the original post is a maximum of 500 words with at least 2 professional references. The 2 response posts are a maximum of 300 words with 1 required professional reference. Now, I always get some questions about this every term. Why do we put a maximum word count? We don't want you writing thesis on these discussion board posts, because if you write a 4-page paper on a discussion board post, your classmates aren't going to read what you have to say. We do want you to answer the question that's being asked. So in general, you can get most discussion board responses done in the 500-word maximum for the original post and the 300-word maximum on the response post. But let me say this, there are certain weeks where you might have to go over the 500-word limit. Just make sure you're answering the question and you're not being too loquacious in your responses and in your original post. Get your point across, make it concise, and make sure that you answer all the questions. That's really kind of the thing to put in the back of your head. On the response post, yes, there's a maximum word count of 300 words, and you do have 1 required professional reference needed in those response posts. What we do not want to see is you making very superficial comments. P.A. Jones, I agree with everything you say. You're amazing. I think this is the greatest response, and that's it. You have to have substance in it. You have to say, oh, I actually found this reference regarding what you said about this leadership theory. We want substance in the response post. If you are making very superficial responses to your classmates, you will be called out on that and asked to improve those in the future. Discussion board posts do require you to use AMA style, again, 11th edition. Learning how to write and convey your thoughts in a standard style is a requirement of any doctoral program. And so although you may not be in the doctoral project series class, we do hold you to AMA standards throughout the entire program. So continue to use AMA style in your discussion board post. You have 1 reflection paper, and that paper is due by May 29th at 11:59, the student's time zone. We require that you have 3 peer-reviewed references in addition to the textbook. You have to use the textbook as a reference in this writing assignment. The references should not be greater than 5 years old. The paper should be, in general, about 4 to 7 pages in length. Some people's are a little bit over. Most people cannot do all the elements in less than 4 pages. That excludes the cover page, the reference page, and any appendices that you have. There are templates and examples posted, and you can see the screenshot on the right-hand side shows you where those templates and examples are located at. One thing I do want to talk to you about is, as part of this reflection paper, there is a SWOT analysis. And a SWOT analysis is where you identify your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. I do want to point out that this is your personal strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, not your practices. And then you also will have to identify a couple of short-term goals and a couple of long-term goals. Again, this is not practice goals. This is your personal goals. So please don't get that confused. Within the Moodle course in week 1, you will find an AMA style review video. It's very important for you to review this video. If this is your first term in our program, this is the same exact video that you will be watching in PA 960. So you don't have to rewatch it. Just make sure that you take good notes when you watch it the first time. For those of you who are in your second term, this is a new video. You have not previously seen this. So we highly encourage you to watch this. There is an associated PowerPoint presentation that you can print out and take notes on as you watch the video. And I highly recommend that you print out that PowerPoint and take notes on it as you go through the video. And then you can use that PowerPoint presentation to refer back to whenever you're writing. Some of the more common writing errors that we find in this program really start because people are not proofreading. When you're proofreading, I would recommend that you really pay attention to overcapitalization. In the AMA style video, I discuss overcapitalization. In the medical field, we tend to want to capitalize things like intensive care unit, emergency room, emergency department, critical care, nurse practitioner, physician assistant. None of those are proper nouns, so they should not be capitalized. In addition, positions such as medical director, chief nurse, those types of things should not be capitalized as well. And I do discuss that in the AMA style video, so I would recommend that you pay close attention to that, because overcapitalization is one of the things that we correct pretty heavily in this class. Also, when you're proofreading, look for sentences that are longer than 2 lines. If the sentence is longer than 2 lines, think about cutting it down into shorter sentences. Although it may be grammatically correct, lengthy sentences are very hard for the reader to stay engaged in. So look for those sentences that are greater than 2 lines. They may be run-ons, they may not, but if you can cut those down into shorter sentences, it makes it a lot more digestible for the reader. One of the things I talk about in the AMA style review is block quotes versus regular quotes. If you have a quote that's longer than 4 lines, you have to put it in a block quote format. And I talk about that in the AMA style video. And then finally, not paraphrasing. AMA style prefers that you paraphrase and not quote. Is quoting wrong? No, it's not. But quotes should be used sparingly and used in instances when you want to deliver a powerful punch by keeping what the original author said intact. In general, though, AMA style prefers that you use paraphrasing. So I go over that in the video as well. So those are some common errors that we find in the writing in this particular course. One thing that we will fine-tune in this course is using leveled headings. And this is a skill that you will need to master whenever you're writing. And leveled headings are pretty easy to teach in this class because of the self-reflection paper lends itself very well to teaching this lesson. The self-reflection paper uses leveled headings to break up primary parts into secondary parts and so on. Headings reflect the progression of logic or flow of thought in a paper and thereby guide the reader. And it also breaks up the copy, making the article more attractive and easier to read. So let's talk about what level headings look like. For the self-reflection paper, here's the example to the right-hand side of what leveled headings look like. You have level 1 headings, level 2 headings, and then level 3 headings. And with a level 1 heading, it is left justified every single letter is capitalized and it's in bold. In a level 2 heading, it is also left justified. Only the first letter of major words are capitalized and it is also in bold. And then finally, a level 3 heading is indented. Only the first letter of the heading is capitalized. You place a period and then you start the sentence directly after that. So one rule is if you use a level 1 heading, you have to have at least 2 level 2 headings underneath of it. And you will see here, we used level 1 headings and we actually have 3 level 2 headings. If we have a level 2 heading, we have to have at least 2 level 3 headings. And in our example, we have 4 level 3 headings. And here's what the paper looks like. So the level 1 heading is, again, left justified, all in bold, every single letter is capitalized. The level 2 heading is left justified, only the first letter of major words are capitalized, and then you start the paragraph on the line beneath it. And then on the level 3 headings, you indent, you capitalized only the first letter of the first word, you put a period, and then you start typing directly after that period. So that's what leveled headings look like within our program. It's not specifically spelled out in the AMA style guide, but this is the format we use within our program. Let's talk about vacations or anticipated absences. We understand that our program goes pretty much for a calendar year with very little breaks. And so some people already have vacations planned. They may have anticipated absence. They may have like a surgery that is already planned. All that we request is that you contact your course instructor regarding the vacation dates and anticipated absence via email. We ask that you try to work ahead if you can so that you can submit the work on time, and discuss with your course instructor a submission date if you are not able to complete your work ahead of time. The reason why we ask that is I find that students, if they have a new due date, they're less likely to put things off. So just email your instructor, say, hey, I'm going out of town on these dates to these dates. I plan on submitting my assignment on this new due date. All coursework is released at the start of class. So even though this is the beginning of class, you can go all the way down to week, let's say 8, and you can read what the self-reflection paper requirements are. So you can go ahead and start thinking about that, or you can start working on it if you know that you're going to be out of town during that week. Let's talk about unanticipated late assignments. We get a lot of emails when people, maybe they get called into work on a Sunday and they expected to be able to do their homework. We understand that this happens. What we ask you to do is email your course instructor as soon as you know you might be late on submitting an assignment. And again, make sure that you include in that email an anticipated due date of when you'll be able to complete the late assignments. We're pretty generous about understanding circumstances do arise. We do get concerned when a student is late week after week after week. So please try not to fall into that habit. If you are finding that you are not getting your assignments done on time on a weekly basis, then you need to work a week ahead. If you have any questions, you can email me directly, or you can contact your course instructor. Again, if it is in regards to your course with NPA 910, make sure that you're directing your emails to your assigned course instructor. I wish you the best of luck this term, and I look forward to working with you.